Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we are continuing on with Better Than Fiction by me, Beauty and the Bookshelf. Today we're going to be reading chapters 5 and 6. Chapter 5, All This Time, Bakugo Point of View. He hadn't meant to keep coming back, but months passed and he still did. The routine had settled in. Kirishima would bring him his coffee without needing to order, teasing him or giving him a new book recommendation. They didn't talk about anything that mattered, not really, but they talked. Books, the weather, new arrivals, enough to make it feel like something, not enough to make it feel real. But lately, Kirishima's eyes seemed to linger on him a little longer. Bakugo wasn't sure if it was curiosity or something else, but it made him uneasy. What if I could just stay under the radar a little longer, just until he figured out how to tell him without it falling apart? Kirishima spotted Bakugo thumbing through a worn paperback and stepped over with a grin. "Hey, if you liked that one, you should check this out," he said, holding up another book. "It's got the same kind of raw honesty." Bakugo glanced up, surprised but curious. "Yeah, maybe I will." Kirishima settled beside him, the moment feeling less like a conversation and more like a quiet understanding. Bakugo was about to turn away when Kirishima called out softly, "Hey, since you're here all the time, what do you do when you're not buried in books?" Bakugo blinked, caught off guard by the question. He shrugged, avoiding Kirishima's eyes. "Just stuff." The question hung in the air between them. Kirishima's smile softened as he watched Bakugo shift away. "You know, it feels like we've been getting closer these past few weeks. At least, I hope I'm not imagining that." Bakugo shrugged, not meeting his eyes. "Maybe." Kirishima took a small breath, his voice quieter. "I don't know. Sometimes it feels like you're holding back, like there's a wall between us." Bakugo's jaw clenched, but he stayed silent. "I get it, though," Kirishima added gently. "It's not always easy to let someone in. But I just want you to know I'm here, and I'd like to get to know you better if you're up for it." Bakugo didn't say anything right away. The words hung in the air, heavier than either of them had expected. Bakugo's chest tightened. How could he tell Kirishima that half of him was still a secret, that this lie was the only thing standing between them and losing it all? "You don't know me," he muttered. Kirishima's voice didn't falter. "That's kind of the point, isn't it?" Silence. "Just think about it," Kirishima added, stepping back without pressure. "Okay?" Bakugo stepped out into the fading light, hands shoved deep into pockets, the lie still clinging to his back like smoke. Kirishima point of view. Kirishima stared at the empty spot where Bakugo had been standing. He spent the last couple of months trying to get closer, careful not to push too hard, knowing that not everyone wore their heart on their sleeves like he did. Bakugo was different. He was closed off and guarded. And that was okay. Everyone had their own pace. But when Bakugo said, "You don't know me," it wasn't just a deflection. It was sharp, like a door slammed shut. Kirishima frowned, chewing on the weight of those words. Why so harsh? What was Bakugo so afraid to let him see? He ran through a list in his mind. Maybe he was unemployed or stuck in a dead-end job he hated. Maybe there were secrets buried so deep they made him ashamed or scared to admit them out loud. Or maybe it was something else entirely. Kirishima's thoughts spiraled deeper, the quiet shop suddenly feeling too small for the weight pressing on his chest. What if he'd gotten it wrong? What if Bakugo wasn't interested in men? The thought hit him like a punch, sharp, immediate, stupidly personal. Kirishima's stomach twisted as he replayed every look, every moment that had felt like something. Had he just been projecting? Building something out of nothing? Maybe that was why Bakugo pulled away. Maybe there was no secret, just discomfort, just boundaries Kirishima didn't see until he was already halfway over them. Then another possibility clawed its way in, slow and cold, settling like a stone in his gut. What if Bakugo was interested, just already taken? Married, committed, hiding a whole life behind that unreadable silence. Kirishima pictured a wedding ring hidden beneath a sleeve, a partner waiting at home, and the thought burned deeper than it should have. Was he chasing something that he was never meant to catch? He swallowed hard, his usual easy confidence slipping away. He wanted to believe Bakugo was just guarded, just slow to open up. But now, he wasn't sure. He wasn't sure how to reach him, or if he even had the right to try. The silence stretched, heavy and suffocating. Then the soft chime of the doorbell. A new customer stepped inside, breaking through the storm of Kirishima's thoughts like a sudden gust of wind. "Hey, welcome in. I'll be right with you," he said, forcing a smile, his voice steady despite the turmoil inside. He moved to the counter, but his mind lingered on the empty space Bakugo had left behind, and a door half shut to a truth he didn't know if he wanted to find. Chapter 6. Unmasked. Bakugo point of view. He hadn't meant to let it go this far, but it had, and now Kirishima wanted more. And Bakugo? He wanted it too, which meant the lie had to end. He'd been pacing for the last 20 minutes, but it didn't help. Nothing did. Kirishima's voice kept playing in his head, softer than usual, steady in a way that always got to him. "I'd like to get to know you better." How badly he wanted to answer with the truth. He'd meant to say yes, but how the fuck do you tell someone who looks at you like that, "Actually, I've been lying to your face this whole time"? His fingers twitched at his sides. He looked down at them, clenched into fists, like that might actually make it easier to breathe. What if Kirishima hated him after this? What if he never looked at him the same way again? Or even worse, what if the book stopped meaning anything once he knew? What if all those days talking about stories and characters and meaning just turned to ash? He glanced across the room, eyes locking on the shelf. One of the spines caught the light. His name, his fake name, in gold foil. Katsuya Arata, a signed copy. Kirishima had no idea it was his signature on the page. No idea the words inside had come from the same guy standing in his shop pretending to be a regular customer. Bakugo dragged a hand down his face and muttered under his breath, "Fucking coward." Time passes. The shop was quiet when he stepped inside. The bell above the door chimed softly, too gently for what he was about to do. Kirishima was distracted, halfway through unpacking a box of new arrivals. "Hey, welcome!" His voice faltered for a split second before picking back up. "Didn't think I'd see you today." He flashed that same easy grin Bakugo had seen 100 times, the one that always made it worse somehow. Bakugo didn't return the smile, didn't move any closer than the door. He just stood there, hands in pockets, heart pounding, hard enough to feel it in his throat. "I need to tell you something," he said. Kirishima straightened, the grin fading into something quieter. "Okay." Bakugo didn't move, didn't know how to. "I've been meaning to tell you this for a while. He broke off, jaw tight. "It's not easy." Kirishima's expression didn't shift, just calm and opened. "Take your time." Bakugo's fingers curled into fists in his pockets. "You said you wanted to know me better, and the truth is, you already do, more than you think." A beat of silence. Bakugo swallowed hard. "You've known me this whole time. You just didn't know it was me." Kirishima tilted his head, confused. "What do you mean?" Bakugo forced the words out like they were tearing themselves from his throat. Katsuya Arata. That's me. Kirishima blinked. Wait, what? Bakugo didn't answer, just looked at him, jaw tight, fists clenched like he was bracing for a punch. What do you mean you're... Kirishima cut off, brow furrowing. The author? Bakugo gave a single nod. No drama, no fanfare, just the truth laid bare. Kirishima stared. The words didn't compute at first. You wrote those books? Kirishima shook his head, comically slow, not out of humor, but disbelief. You said they were just fine. You lied to my face, man. Kirishima's voice cracked at the end. They are fine, Bakugo said, voice low, rough around the edges. I just didn't think raving about them would make me look very humble. Kirishima's jaw tightened and his gaze fell to the floor. When he spoke again, the warmth had drained from his voice. You could have told me you wrote them. I liked how you talked about them when you thought I didn't. Bakugo responded, quietly, barely above a whisper. Kirishima's silence stretched, his eyes still staring at the floor, frustration on his face becoming more visible. Kirishima swallowed hard, pain flickering across his face before a spark of anger ignited behind his eyes. His voice was quiet, but every word cut like a knife. I thought we were getting to know each other. Bakugo's calm cracked. His voice rose with frustration and desperation. We do. You know me better than anyone else. You just don't realize how well. Bakugo stormed off. Bakugo stormed out of the shop, door slamming harshly behind him. Silence fell, heavy and suffocating. All right, friends, thank you so much for joining me for these 2 chapters. I know that ends off on a little bit of an angsty spot. I'm so sorry. The next piece will be the last 3 chapters, so 7, 8, and 9. 7 is so short, and so I'm just going to combine it with the other 2. All right, so I hope you will come back. Again, I'm so sorry for that angsty cliffhanger, but I hope you'll come back and join me for the last piece. I'll see you guys next time.